Good day, folks. Today, with a heavy heart, I give a ode from the heart to an officer and gentleman, or in this case, a doctor and gentleman. The kindest, most selfless individual I've ever met, and luckily I'm married into that family. Right? You know, there's a funny anecdote about his father. Now I saw his relationships, with everybody, and I would walk through customs. I remember in the early years, and people would just say when they knew who I was or knew they would immediately come up with either they had been operated or their parents had been operated, and they were actually looking to do favors for him. He never asked for anything, never, except till I got married into the family, and I think that's the first time that I broke that trait of his, and he had to, I guess, take a few favors from me, for which I apologize. But he was one of a kind, and you saw that in some of his relationships, which were incredible. One of the most incredible relationships was between his father-in-law and him. They were kindred spirits, got along like house on fire, unbelievable. And there's an anecdotal story about this, that when his father-in-law was measuring him up to see how tall he was, he walked behind to check him out. But what he didn't know is that if a man's height was measured in his humane nature, in his oncoming reputation, there would be no measure that would have measured his height. A giant and a colossal. I think Papaji himself, at that time he figured he's okay, he's not too bad, he's slightly taller than me, or maybe slightly shorter than me, whatever. But I wish one could measure height in terms of his reputation, his kindness, his love. I don't think there is a tape measure that would have captured that. The other incredible relationship was between this gentleman, Abbott, of course a Punjabi from Northwest Frontier, he might have been a Pathan himself, right? And this Bania from UP. When I got married into the family, these two families were so close and so opposite. There was nothing common between them. But this just showed, both in terms of his mutual admiration society, whether it was with the Basins, his in-laws, or with the Dr. Harimohan and his family, that he was an incredibly good soul, because otherwise you don't develop such fan following, you don't develop such love, and you don't develop such devotion. Incredible. And the funny thing is that as an Abbott, people thought he was a Christian, right? So I believe nurses sent him cakes on Christmas. Then all his Muslim patients from Daryaganj, because that's where he practiced, almost every festival there was festive food that was sent in big tiffins to others. It just showed how much love and care he had. And there's so many stories in Gangaram where he started the orthopedic department, where even today people say that he actually gave money to people who he operated on because they didn't have enough. But he achieved a level of fame and a level of reputation just by being a good human being. And there was a nice thing said by on the NFC chat, where somebody said, I don't know whether what was he better? He was a good doctor, but was he a better doctor or a better human being? All I can say here is, I'm going to twist that a little bit. He was a good doctor. But he became a great doctor because he was a great human being. A doctor that everybody could trust. A doctor that almost everybody came to for a second opinion. Even as late when he stopped practicing, they wanted to know whether they were doing the right thing. So, goodbye, Dad. It's been a great 29 years of knowing you. And enjoy a drink with your father-in-law and your friend wherever you are, and hopefully in a really good place. He had a famous last name, Abbott, and Abbottabad, as you all know what happened there. But you now have Abbott Custard, which is a large chain in New York, in Rochester. You have a governor, the current governor in Texas is an Abbott. You had a prime minister in Australia who's been an Abbott. So becomes from Abbottabad. Apparently that was set up by Major Abbott, and that's why it got that name. So you have a nice twist in his name. However, he set us an example that it's just impossible for us to fit in his shoes. He set a path that is just so unbelievable that I for sure know. I know that. I mean, even if I come close to his shadows, I'll be lucky. Right, folks. A quick one on the COVID situation. It's not looking very good still, because what do we have here? The scientific advisor finally came out and said, third wave of COVID inevitable, says government. Then it says, third wave inevitable, time can't be predictive, government says. Vaccines will need to be updated to tackle the new strain that are spreading the contagion fast. The government says third wave will hit kids in a big way, said virologist. Then the Indian Express reported something similar. Third COVID wave inevitable, didn't foresee current ferocity, scientific advisor to PM. Can't predict time frame of the next wave. Finally, center flag surge linked to double mutant. Finally, it does that, right? Then finally, he's forced to. They admit that rising Indian variant B1617 responsible for case surge. Remember, this is the same variant that the genome had shown in August, and they had discounted it as something that's irrelevant and not going to be infectious. Now, this is what's causing the problem. And then he's forced to recant that, right? The very next day. He said third wave inevitable, principal scientific advisor just a few days ago. Now he says third wave may not happen if care is taken, says Raghav. This shows pressure from the government. And this is what's happening to our scientific advisor. He says nobody knew the ferocity. I would like you to take a look at this video from Rahul Gandhi made last month.
You have no idea what is coming. It's going to be the most painful thing this country has suffered, and it's coming. And I've been warning the government that a massive tsunami is coming. And they are fooling about, they are not clear about what they have to do. India should be preparing itself, right? I'm saying it again and again and again. Nobody is listening to me. I am sorry to say, our people are going to go through unimaginable pain. Start to prepare our strength, start to create a defensive situation. Okay, because if you don't, there will be devastation. Again, there will be devastation. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to tell the Prime Minister, get your head out of the sand. Your head is right now in the sand. Pull it out. Look around what's going on. Don't be scared. Remove the fear that you've always carried all your life, because India needs you to do that. Thank you.
So what is this world saying? So the scientific advisor, one you can trust, Fauci, says White House advisor recommends lockdown in India. You're already beginning to see this in Karnataka. It's happened, Haryana, it's happened. I'm told that it's probably going to happen here too, right? What is another gentleman who wrote Mr. Kothari, right? Policy response to the second wave must be based on science. Balance lives and livelihoods, strike to emphatically. Now this is again has to be science, but I want to tell you what somebody wrote, right? I never saw any report which said numbers will go very high, and this is a biotech secretary. Don't have an algorithm that tells us of the increase in numbers or the higher severity transmission rates. She talks about artificial intelligence, that we don't have artificial intelligence algorithms. First, I would say all we needed was basic intelligence. Artificial intelligence comes later. We needed to believe in science. We needed to consult. We needed to talk to people. We needed to see what the world was saying. Instead, we were telling the world they don't know what they're talking about, right? Because, watch this tape, this is what our scientific mindset that the government has and all allows to flourish.
मुझे गुस्सा आता है ऐसी
क्या
बातों
लगता है ये कितना बाह्य तर्क होगा या ये सटीक है? वो कह रहे साइंस जब पूरी दुनिया कोरोना वायरस की दवाई नहीं खोज पा रही है, ये कह रहे गौमूत्र से ठीक हो जाएगा।
मैं आपको यही बोल रही हूँ कि आप पूरी दुनिया में अपना मजाक उड़वा रहे हो इस तरह की बातें करके। अभी ये जो इन्होंने यहाँ रैली करी है, जो यहाँ पर ये चल रहा था, वहां पर लिटरली आपको पता है गौमूत्र पिलाया गया है, वहां लोग पी रहे हैं गौमूत्र, वहां गोबर खा रहे हैं। आई मीन किस तरह, क्या है, क्या बना दिया आपने इस देश को? आप तरक्की की तरफ, आप साइंस टेक्नोलॉजी की तरफ जाने की बजाय आप इस देश को एक्चुअली गोबर ही बना रहे हो। आप इस देश को गोबर के अंदर धकेलते जा रहे हो।
Welcome back. The case, the news here, case count falls from 4 lakhs, but it says so do testing numbers, experts caution complacency. So these kind of items really make no sense, because testing is the key, right? Because here you have COVID quietly ravages rural UP. Demand for death certificate rises as cases surge in UP. There is news there saying that people are trying to hide this, but 4.12 lakh new cases in 24 hours. PM holds review. PM speaks with CMs. PM spoke his Mann Ki Baat, did not listen, says Jharkhand. Now this is what he just talks, he doesn't listen, right? What is this? Over 15% positivity in 24 states. Cases trending steeply up in 30 districts. But here, science. UP government setting up oximeters, thermal scanners for cows. Thank God, folks, they reversed it. This is what I said when I played the earlier video, right? But our oxygen also, while it's improved, is having a whole bunch of challenges. HC ultimatum on Delhi O2 crisis, lives at stake. Army sounds alarm over reduction of O2 quota for base hospital in Delhi. Kent. Oxygen supply to Delhi. High Court issues show cause to center on contempt. O2 cylinders makers choke on industrial use ban. 11 COVID patients die in hospital near Chennai. Imported tankers to help supply oxygen to non-producing states. Unbelievable. You know, I told you there's no infrastructure. Delhi government, but point game, the center jumps on this. Delhi government opposes O2 use, audit says study allocation. That's true. But tutu meme. Vaccinations again, right? While Prime Minister says, hey, vaccination drive in states should not slacken, says PM. Okay? But vaccination slows down as demand outpaces supply. How can you vaccinate when you don't have supply? But ensure immediate vaccine procurement. HC tells UP. But Serum unable to give Covishield doses till May 26, says March. Havoc everywhere, folks. Havoc. Right? Then you have your hospitals are in bad shape. Tragedy averted as 26 patients rescued in nick of time after fire. This is after 2 fires already. Two in Maharashtra, 1 in Gujarat. So what somebody says is, here, fire at city hospital, some patients rescued but many trapped. Leave aside ESG, India's bigger problem is EHS, culture of environment, health and safety missing at small companies as compliance isn't taken seriously, folks. And therein lies a whole bunch of problem for India, folks. We are sitting in the middle of this. It's not going anywhere. Be careful, be protected. There's COVID everywhere in our house, and we've all got our fingers crossed. It is truly, folks, Atam Nirbhar. To each his own. Jai Hind.